I was muted the whole time, bro. What I was saying was we're probably only gonna go like an hour or so on this stream. I was supposed to start this like an hour ago. I didn't. Something came up, so I really wish I could do this more of the streams. I don't get like too many in stream at once, but uh, my currently I just don't have time to do it though. Like stream, it's better if I just record videos, but maybe I'll find a way uh, to where I can stream more. We're just gonna be going over like a few videos that I found today that I didn't get to watch earlier today. So um, let me do something really quickly. Then we'll watch. Uh, 1 second. Hell. Okay, that's weird. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. A few videos that I got lined up. Then I want to see something else really quickly as well. Hold on. Um, Hold on. Let me check this.
Schnikes, do I have some breaking news for?
Oh, okay. Okay. He just recorded without no face cam. All right. I wanted to watch. Oh, jeez, that's not it. I wanted.
I feel protected.
I don't think that any American woman should feel protected by Trump.
Well, good thing you're not a woman.
Well, considering the fact that considering the fact that in 2005 he sat down with Howard Stern and boasted about unconsensually walking into the dressing rooms of naked women and girls.
You have someone who's like, you're trying to say what I should believe in when you're not a woman.
Excuse me, ma'am, we're with Patriot News. You look like a real patriot. Do you mind stopping for a quick interview? Oh, fantastic. Well, welcome. What's your name?
Thank you. I'm Lindy Ann Hopley from South Africa.
Really? And you're here today to celebrate Charlie Kirk and support Trump?
Well, I'm here because I'm a patriot, which I believe a patriot is someone who's willing to fight for their country because they believe in it.
Okay. So a patriot, somebody who's willing to fight for the country. Do you think Trump's a patriot?
I do believe he's a patriot. That's why a lot of people don't like him, those who don't really like to, we have a big, coming from South Africa, I know what a communist takeover looks like. And so it's very obvious that they've been trying to take over the country. People were sold out to China. To other countries to try and get them to come in and really come and destroy this country. And so I think it's just people that say, hey, we want our Christian Judeo values here. China, very obvious that they've been trying to take over the country. And those who don't really like to, we have a big, coming from South Africa, I know what a communist takeover looks like. And so it's very obvious that they've been trying to take over the country. People were sold out to China and to other countries to try and get them to come in and really come and destroy this country. And so I think it's just people that say, hey, we want our Christian Judeo values here, and we're going to stand up and we're going to keep fighting for those.
Okay, so broadly, what does a communist takeover of America look like?
Well, communism is where someone believes that they're higher up than the rest of.
There's no way I was muted. There's no way. Fuck. Okay. Well, the whole time, what I was saying was, like what is she talking about? A communist takeover? Well, the first thing I said was I don't think South Africa's a communist country, and I don't know the economics of South Africa, but I'm pretty sure it's not a communist country. That's first of all. Second of all, she kept saying they were trying to come in and they were trying to make this a communist takeover. Who is they? First of all, if you're saying they, talking about immigrants, are you talking about yourself? You're saying you're coming from a communist takeover and you're coming here. That means you're one of the communist takeovers, if that's what you're talking about. So I actually don't know what she's saying here. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's what I was leaving that off on.
The people, and they're trying to make everyone subservient to them. If you've been around the world, I mean, it's pretty obvious where people have come in and they've really ruined the country. They're all about themselves. I mean, I would say it's like high-level narcissism.
Okay, so here's my question. If a communist takeover of a country looks like a high-level narcissist that wants to gain control and power, then make others subservient to themselves, I'm not gonna lie, Lindy Ann, I think that you just perfectly described Trump. I mean, let's think about it. First and foremost, high-level narcissist. Of course, the multi-billionaire guy who owns private estates and many of our, who owns private estates like Mar-a-Lago down in Florida, who's spent his whole lifetime saying that he is holier than thou. I mean, literally in some scenarios, comparing himself to Jesus would fulfill that role of being a narcissist. And then just
you missed what I said about what those people, the heart of the leader is not for the people. And it's been very obvious. So for me, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. When I came to America, I wasn't pro anything. I'm pro the kingdom of God. I'm here to see his kingdom manifest. And I had a dream in 2020 that President Trump was in the Oval Office praying. And this was confirmed by prophets before. I didn't care if he was a Cyrus, if he had
What? Prophets were talking about who? Donald Trump? What?
America, I
What did
wasn't
she
pro
say?
anything. I'm pro the kingdom of God. I'm here to see his kingdom manifest. And I had a dream in 2020 that President Trump was in the Oval Office praying. And this was confirmed by prophets before. I didn't care if he was a Cyrus, if he had
What?
personal issues.
Did she just call Donald Trump a prophet? Am I hearing this right? This is insane. This is crazy.
God showed me in a dream that he was the one that he was going to use to turn this country around, to bring revival. In my dream, there was President Trump. God showed me what looked political, what looked like a Satanist takeover will be a revival. And that dream actually manifested at Charlie Kirk's memorial. So I know you introduce yourself as Patriot News, but clearly you're here just to stir things up. I want to tell you, Jesus is king. He's the way out. My focus is not President Trump. It's not this one or that one. We need the power of God to manifest on the earth again, and that is why we're here.
We need more rapists in the Oval Office. We need more rapists. We need more killers. We need more people bombing Venezuela. We need more people sending innocent people to CCOT. That's what we need for this Jesus takeover. Lord have mercy. What is this movement? This shit is insane.
If anything, Charlie Kirk said, I want to be remembered for my courageous faith. And as a Christian, I see people jump out of wheelchairs, blind I see. I never believed in God. And now I have a passion to see other people come into the revelation and the freedom which Jesus paid for. God just uses these people, but it's all about Jesus. And that's why I'm here. And I believe in, if you don't know Jesus, I want to encourage you. He walked into my room. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I was wilder than the zoo, but he picked me up. He turned me around and he gave me a new
still wilder
identity.
than
And
the
that's what
zoo.
Jesus can do for you. Bless bless you guys.
I just have one last question. One last question. I'm very familiar.
Actually, so cancer healed last night. I had a word of knowledge. I had a fire in my neck, and I told the pastor, I feel fire. He said, that's where I have a tumor. Prayed for him. His pain was instantly gone. My father was an atheist, high-level narcissist, billionaire, and guess what? He saw deaf ears open right in front of him in the street, and I led him to Jesus 4 days later. No one is too far away. This is about revival. This is about such a time as this. Get off your butt. Go preach the gospel. Heal the sick. Cast out demons. That's what we're here for. That's what Christianity looks like. Not a fight on the street. We got bigger fish to fry. The kingdom is coming. Are you going to be a part of it or not? Bless you.
I have two questions before you head off. Do you mind if I
All
ask you
that
just two
talk, she
questions
can't
before you head
answer a
off here?
damn question.
Thank you. You need to give your life to Jesus and do something.
Well, I
better
think
You
with
can't
it.
even answer a
I mean,
fucking
you sound
question.
civilly liable for the essay of a woman. Is that Christ-like? I guess we'll never learn.
I guess
Well,
we'll
I was
never
asking
know.
her, you know, she was saying
Guess
that,
we'll
you
never
know,
know.
there's a Christian. Well, I informed her that in 2023, Trump was held civilly liable for essaying a woman named E. Jean Carroll. I asked her if that's Christ-like.
Oh, now you're asking me. Okay, repeat the question.
I mean, do you agree with a lot of what she had to say? I mean, I heard you clapping in the background and saying that we need a Christian revival, we need Jesus put back into this country, and Donald Trump is helping with that. Do you agree with her?
I have less to say about him and more of what she was saying about what she believes. I mean, you can tell that those are her godly thoughts coming through her. So yeah, I liked what she had to say.
Do you like Trump?
They always
Do I
beat
like
around the
Trump?
bush. They always beat around the bush.
See, these are the questions where you get put in the corner and then you're like pegged with all these labels and everything.
No, these are the questions that you make to see your position. Okay, none of you people want to make a position on anything, right? They're just like, they're like, oh, I just like what she had to say, but they'll never like say what they support. Like it's insane. Like why are you doing this bit right now? Just answer that question. Why do they have so much? How do they have so much to say? And then when you ask them a question, they can't answer a question. That's a red flag. Okay, all this convert to this, convert to that, give your life to this, give your life to that. But you know you can't answer a question. I mean, come on. How is anybody supposed to do any of that? You can't answer a question. But
And that's what's wrong.
I'm
Go on.
just asking you if you support the president, that's all.
Oh, do I support our president?
Yeah.
I think everything's
I
a
mean,
gotcha. I was dealing with that the other day. I think
People
everything's
will
a
run
gotcha.
their mouth, but
Like, just answer the question. Do you support the
I feel
president?
protected.
You feel protected by Trump?
I feel protected.
I don't think that any American woman should feel protected by Trump.
Well, good
Con-
thing you're not a woman.
Well, considering the fact that in 2005 he sat down with Howard Stern and boasted
Get
about
outta here.
unconsensually walking into the dressing rooms of naked women and girls.
You have someone who's like, you're trying to say what I should believe in when you're not a woman, so you have no clue.
Well, I mean, I think that men can say that it's wrong to essay or exploit women.
Whatever you choose.
Well, is it fair for me to believe that it's wrong to exploit people, including women?
Exploit people. Go on. What does that look like?
A good example of that would be a man abusing his position of power over the position of vulnerability that a woman is in to further unconsensual sexual
Do you
conduct.
know what it's like to be a woman?
I don't need to know what it's
You
like to
go-
live as a woman in order to know that it's wrong to exploit them.
Every day you go out into public, you are exposed by how you present yourself, how you respond to things, the comments, the looks, everything. It's not one man that is the problem. It's maturity. It's a level of maturity. So
Wait, can we just agree that a man is a problem when they exploit women?
No. First of all, she said no. I'm gonna let it play really quickly, but she's saying, do you know what it's like to be a woman? Like, how is that relevant to the question? That's like saying, if I said it's bad to murder somebody, have you ever been murdered? No, I haven't, but I can say murdering somebody is bad. I think I can safely assume that. That makes no sense, but let me let her finish.
women exploit themselves by how they present themselves.
Okay.
Look at Dee's face. Okay, so first of all, let me make, because I paused it. Let me make sure everybody's on the same page. She said that the women sexually exploit themselves, and then Dean first said, do you think that men doing this is bad? Sexually exploiting women is bad. She then comes back and says they sexually exploit themselves. That's insane.
So you're basically saying that if a man furthers unconsensual conduct with a woman, that it's the woman's fault.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said,
you
can we
did.
agree that it's wrong
That's
when a man
exactly what she
exploits
said.
women? And then you said women exploit themselves.
But I'm saying it's not like one person. It's not one gender that does something wrong.
Wait,
It's-
all that I'm saying
it's how
is
you
if
Yeah, it
present
is.
yourself.
all that I'm saying,
It's an individual thing.
all that I'm asking here is if an
Yeah.
individual man rapes a woman, can we blame that man for raping the woman?
These are the questions that then you get stuck in the corner.
This is crazy. I'm just asking
Stuck
you. We
in-
can blame.
See, she can't answer the question. She can't answer. Is raping a woman bad? I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Dude, we're about to go into 2026, and we can't answer that question. What has Donald Trump done to America, man? Or really, it's just the right wing. What has he done to the right wing? Okay, I mean, they might not have always been smart, okay, but I think 10 years ago they could have answered that question really easily. I think they could have answered it really easily. Okay, that's not a hot take. Now it's up in the air. It's insane.
It's for raping.
You're trying to get me in a corner to answer a question that
my God.
that I'm not going to sit here and generalize every little situation, every little scenario.
I'm so sorry.
Insane.
You can't
She's
take
insane.
You can't take a terrible situation and then clump it as like boom, boom, boom.
Just listen to yourself. I'm going to be honest. You sound insane
Okay.
if you can't say with a straight face very directly that a rapist is to blame for graping.
Is to blame for.
Yeah, if somebody raped someone else, if somebody raped somebody else, you are crazy if you can't automatically and immediately turn around and say that it's their fault. It's never the fault of a victim. Okay, it's always the fault of the perpetuator. I feel like this is common sense.
can't
I
answer
learned
this
this in
question.
third
Oh my
grade when the
God.
nun came into the classroom and showed us the dolls. But then yet here we are, 2025. I'm talking to somebody that maybe
Exactly
looks
what I said.
27 years old, and you can't tell me that you think it's wrong for a rapist to grape. You can't tell me that you think a rapist is to blame for that misconduct and violence. This is crazy.
You know what? Why it's not crazy?
It's not crazy. That's not crazy. Oh my God.
Because you're talking to someone who's gone through this experience.
And obviously, I would
So it was your fault? Ask that question, Dean. So she's saying that it was her fault. What the hell?
blame the person that did that to you. They were the fault. They were in the wrong. And hopefully you
Fine
would
that
too.
blame that, but I also look back at that experience knowing what was going on, and I put myself in a vulnerable position where I didn't have full control over
You can't do
the
anything.
results of what came to
Okay.
be. So to sit here and put all these
Okay.
labels and peg all these people, that's also incorrect and wrong.
Okay, well, I appreciate you for the time, and I'm sorry that that happened to you. You have a good
Have a
one.
great day.
You as well. You support Trump?
She's stupid.
Depends on what.
Hold on. Wait. She said she put herself in the position to be raped or whatever happened to her. I mean, how do I even commentate to that? Like, that's insane. That's hard to comprehend. Let's say, right, because she's saying that maybe you could put yourself in a sticky situation. Maybe you could, and this is me trying to somehow find middle ground with this insane take. Let's say if I went into a room with 10 guys that were all had a gun, and let's say they were all 10 white guys and they're all racist, okay, and I walk in the room knowing that, right? If I go in there and get murdered, okay, it would like I would be dumb for doing that, but they should be charged with murder still. Like, I think we can all say that they're still a murderer, right? Like we can all agree to that, right? We can all agree that they're still a murderer. Just because I walked into a bad situation knowingly, hopefully she didn't knowingly know she was going to be raped. I don't know what her stance or what her circumstances, but even if they do the act, like, that is still their fault. Okay, they are still the thing that they're doing. So it's not like they get off scot-free because you were a sitting duck or something. Like they still did the crime. Like I don't that should be common sense. Lord have mercy. I mean, the Republicans said that they were going to bring back common sense last year, and that's one thing they definitely haven't done. They don't have that shit right now. But
Time, and I'm
let's
sorry
keep
that
going.
happened to you. You have a good
Have a
one.
great day.
You as well. You support Trump?
Depends on what, it's very, like, sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. Sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, that's, like with the AI, if he's federalizing AI, that's one thing I'm for sure not against. I do believe in state rights, and I do believe that, like, genuinely with state rights, then democracy works better. Especially if we're going to have a democracy where my vote or my voice is impactful, that's more likely to happen at a state or even like city level first.
Yeah. Do you think that a woman's right to vote should be up to the state?
Yeah, sure. Let's leave it up to
What? She was sounding like so like decently moderate at first, and then it just went downhill. It went so fucking downhill. Oh my god. She was like, yeah, I mean, I just believe in states' rights, and I'm a conservative. I like states' rights. Okay, cool. Should women be able? Should it be up to the states if women can vote? Yeah, we can. Like what? Like, hopefully ask, like, what does she think about if black people could vote at a state level? I wonder what she would say. I mean, for her position to be consistent, it'd probably have to be a yes answer. Probably. Just if she wanted to stay consistent.
the state.
But
I would be okay with that. I know that's
insane.
kind of,
No, that's insane.
might make me unpopular, but sure.
So what state are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
So if everybody in Minnesota voted for women to lose the right to vote, you'd be okay with that?
Yeah,
So
I think I could.
If you lost your right to vote, you wouldn't care.
No, I think, I mean, I know that
What?
sounds insane, but genuinely, I mean, less pressure off me. Then I get to criticize more, I won't
What
really.
if
you
everybody in
wouldn't, bitch.
Minnesota wanted slavery back?
What the fuck?
That-
Wait, this is stupid. This is fucking stupid. Bro. What the fuck is she talking about? She said then she would be able to criticize more. No, dumbass. They wouldn't listen to you because you wouldn't be able to get them elected. What are you saying? This doesn't make any sense.
And that would
Oh
be
my
up to the men
gosh.
if I don't have a right to vote.
But do you think that states should be able to legislate on the legality of slavery?
I mean, why are we bringing back slavery?
That's not an answer to the question that I asked. Should states have the ability to vote for the legalization of slavery?
I don't know. I think
You don't know? Wait, so I just want to clarify this. Okay, the union knew
my
that they
God.
didn't want states to have that ability.
I knew she was going to say that, dude. Oh my god.
And that's what led to the Civil War.
okay.
So, who do you think should have won the Civil War? The people that didn't want states to have the ability to legalize slavery, the Union, or the people that did want states to have the ability to legalize slavery, the Confederacy? Who should have won?
I don't know.
So it's
She
just a real
doesn't know.
toss-up?
For the Civil War, kind of. Yeah.
Just
I
kinda
wasn't around. I wasn't around during the Civil War, so I really have like minute opinion about it because
So-
I wasn't there.
Yeah, you're not really sure,
Dude.
about the Civil War because you weren't around at the time or
I'm
weren't alive.
flabbergasted by this
Were
shit.
you alive during the Holocaust?
No, I wasn't.
So are you also kind of unsure if the Holocaust was good or bad?
I mean, I don't think it was good or bad. I think it was bad, but
What?
I don't think that it impacts me as the way it does a Jewish
I don't think it was good or bad. I think it was bad. Quote of the year.
community.
Wait,
person.
Quote
but
of
you're
the
telling
year.
us that you do know that the Holocaust was bad, even though you weren't alive at the time. But then you just argued that you don't know if the people who wanted to turn black people into property, systemically limiting any human rights from being attained by themselves just to further their own socioeconomic positions, were wrong, or bad, or bad.
Yeah, I think using any person as like 3/4 of a one person is bad. I think, especially as a
3/5,
Christian,
but
we
yeah.
should like see everyone as equal.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay,
But-
I want us to both look in the camera while we just quickly go over this. You're Christian?
Trying to be, yes.
And you'd be okay with your state taking away your right to vote if that's what everyone in the state wanted to do?
If that's what women and men decided and they voted and women voted to lose their right to vote, then
No,
That's
it
not what
doesn't.
it
This
said.
doesn't require women. Let's just imagine that your state is 53% male, 47% female. If every man in that state voted for women to lose their right to vote, and then you lost your right to vote, you wouldn't care.
I mean, is my right to vote federally or state-wise, you know?
Well,
Both.
you told us that you'd be okay with states having the ability to ban and restrict women's access to voting. Did you not?
Yeah, I'm all for state rights, but if we're talking about women voting, that's under the 19th Amendment, so that's a
You think that
federal...
amendment should be repealed, though?
Yeah, repeal.
That's not what I'm saying.
It doesn't impede on states' rights?
That would.
I don't know, does it?
Well, it does, because it's a restriction against a right that the state used to have that they no longer have. So absolutely the 19th Amendment impedes on states' rights. I just argued that it's a good impediment. We should impede upon states' rights, and we shouldn't give them the ability to ban women's access to voting or black people's access to human rights. So I just want to clarify. I'm going to ask this question again. Please give the same responses that you did earlier.
Yeah.
So are you a Christian?
Yeah, I'm trying to be.
And you value states' rights?
Yes, I do.
If everybody in your state voted for women to lose the right to vote, would you be okay with that?
I guess, again, it depends on, like, because it's a federal mandate right now, so it would be Congress that has to vote to
just
lose
ask
it.
'em,
And then it would
bro.
go to a state. Right.
answer the question.
I'm saying,
So,
right,
like-
if the 19th Amendment never existed, if everybody in your state voted for women to lose their right to vote, would you be okay with that?
She's beating around
I
the bush.
mean, I don't know. I
Oh my
mean,
God,
yeah.
okay.
I genuinely don't
All
know
right.
because I think it would depend on
I don't know that everything.
who's running. You know, everyone's going to feel more confident when it's like someone of their own party or someone of their own position. Like, of course, you're going to feel like, okay, whatever. But I do think that, like, genuinely, when it comes to like women's rights and things like that, if women didn't have the right to vote, then what responsibility would I bear for when stuff goes bad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the thing. That's kind of why it's like,
Yeah, okay.
not like I'm
gonna be
for
honest.
it.
I'm
gonna be
so
honest. I'm
tuned
gonna cut
out.
this conversation here.
Yeah.
I think that it's incredibly harmful and incredibly damaging to suggest
I'm
that
so
we should all
tuned out of this shit, dog.
permiss and be
She
okay
is
with
so
women
stupid.
losing their
Those,
right to vote or states having the ability to
Dude, those three women you talked to were
re-legalize
all
slavery.
so
I also
dumb.
think that it's just
Oh my
insane
God.
to say it's a flip of a coin or a toss-up between who is the good guy and who is the bad guy looking at the Union and the Confederacy. I think we should all be able to fundamentally agree that the Confederacy was in the wrong for wanting to legalize slavery. I think that we should all fundamentally agree that human rights should be protected by the highest level of government possible, so then states that were in the Confederacy don't have the ability to exploit them by legalizing slavery. And especially as you're a Christian, as you claim to praise Jesus and follow the moral teachings of the gospel, it's crazy to assume that you are the one telling me that you'd be okay if the Confederacy won the Civil War, that you'd be okay if states had the ability to legalize slavery, or you'd be okay if you lost your right to vote.
Yeah, but I think we're talking about two different things when you're like slavery versus like women's right to vote. Like, one,
States' rights.
okay, we can both argue that they'd follow under state rights, but you're like, well, you're saying that the Confederacy, blah, blah, blah. I'm not for slavery. Can I just make that point blank period? I don't think anyone, you know, like,
Well,
how
that,
about in
well,
Dubai,
nobody
they still
said
have
you
slaves.
were, but you think people should be able to vote to continue slavery. That's your position. So nobody cares if you as an individual aren't for it. You are for people being able to vote for that to happen. That's insane.
I'm not for that. I'm not going to go to Dubai.
Libya is a better example. There's an active slave trade in Libya. I appreciate you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good one,
Nice to
Isabel.
meet you.
Better example. There's an active slave trade in Libya. I appreciate you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good one,
Nice to
Isabel.
meet you.
Okay. I mean, that was brain rot. Just really quickly on that. I mean, mind-boggling. First of all, I'm really just I'm at a loss for words. I mean, she said a lot there that was insane. I mean, she was saying what? Well, the first, let's go through. We'll go backwards. The last lady thought just to break down the conservatives, the last lady thought, oh, it's okay for people to vote uh, democratically in states if they want to repeal the 19th Amendment and not allow women to vote. Okay, that's insane, but okay. And then her second take was, if you do the same thing, they can also uh, vote to enslave whoever they want to again. So bring back slavery if the people wanted it, if they elected it in their state. That's insane. I mean, that can't happen anywhere. I mean, that's against the Geneva Convention. So not only is it just like the states' right bullshit, but like a country can't do that, right? They would be attacked if they did that. I don't know exactly what their policy is for the United Nations, but that country would be at least heavily sanctioned. I mean, no, forget all that shit. That country would be taken over 100%. I don't know what I'm talking about. That country would be attacked by the United States, the UK, and whatever country is in NATO, and would be blown off the map, especially if it happened in like Europe or something. So, yeah, that's that. The second to last lady, which one was that? That one was, oh, the lady that's okay with being raped and not holding to account anybody that does rape somebody. If the algorithm censors me because of this, fuck it. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to say grape or whatever and bleep it out. I'm not doing all that, but she was literally just saying, oh, I put myself in that position, and women put themselves in that position, which is actually insane. And that's, even if that was the case for maybe some, that's definitely not the case for all or even the majority. Okay, and then the first lady was, Jesus, I know I'm on full screen right now. The first lady was trying to remember. Damn, I can't remember, but she was saying some insane shit too. Hold on. Yeah, I can't remember. Fuck. Yeah, I can't. She was what? There's no way I'm forgetting. I'm blanking like this. She was, I kind of remember. She was like, Donald Trump, or she was saying these people were coming in and trying to make America communist, and like who are these people? And if she's talking about the immigrants, first of all, you're saying she said South Africa was communist. You're an immigrant from South Africa. You would be one of the ones you're saying, which is like, okay, so you're one of them. Do you want to be deported? Like, that's one. Two, she was saying the United States was becoming a communist takeover, but and how that happens is a bunch of narcissists come over and start building communist policies, I guess. But Donald Trump's literally the biggest narcissist on planet Earth. All he does is talk about himself. All he does is make himself the big news of the day. Like when Rob Reiner died, as soon as he died, he went and made fun of his death and made the whole thing about him. He said, oh, he died of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, because he hated me so much, and he bothered people about me, and all he talked about is me. That dude is the largest narcissist on planet Earth, but somehow you love that guy, but complain about narcissism. It just doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't make any sense, simply. This other video, I don't know how long I'm going to watch this, because we'll see if it's any interesting, but let me make sure you guys see the title here. Basically, these are two Christians going at each other. I've seen her content before, Eurodite, with Destiny, I believe. And this was at like a Unfuck America thing. I don't know where this was. I don't know exactly, because Destiny usually I believe is a part of that, and I didn't see any like content from this. Because they usually counter like Charlie Kirk events, so maybe they countered Amfest, and this is what this is from. I don't
Is
know.
America First is not Christian.
What do you mean by
Seamlessly on
Christian? I
Jubilee.
don't know like what specific denomination you subscribe to.
I would say anybody that agrees to the Apostles' Creed fundamentally is typically viewed as Christian. So Protestants, Catholics typically do. I think some sects of Mormon also appeal to the Apostles' Creed. Eastern Orthodox, you are America First, I'm assuming,
Yes.
since you agreed to it. But you're also a Christian nationalist.
Yes.
Okay, square that circle for me. What exactly is America First about being a Christian nationalist? Like,
Well, the question is being America First Christian? I would argue that it 100% is, and we can look at St. Thomas Aquinas' idea of ordered love, meaning you have a responsibility to the people closest to you. So just like it's immoral, if you were to feed your neighbor's kids while your own kids go hungry, it's equally immoral to support policies.
Just by the way, does Christian nationalism even make sense? Because, like the statement itself is kind of contradictory. Because if you're a Christian nationalist, you want like the whole country to be governed on behalf of Christians, or on behalf of like I guess the rules of the Bible or the Ten Commandments at least, which America isn't currently. And that would also go against the founding fathers and how they wanted America to be governed. But there's nowhere in the Bible, at least, where a state is completely governed by like the Ten Commandments. Like it's a set of rules, but it's not governed. And I don't think that Jesus would want a country governed by the Ten Commandments either. So like, and then like forcing any other religions out, that's what you would be doing if you were a Christian nationalist. So I think the whole movement is nonsensical. So okay, but keep going.
That harm your country's people, but benefit those from other countries. And this has been explained in the Catechism as well. So.
that's really weird. So, you correct me if I'm wrong about the Bible. My understanding is that God gave up godliness to come down to earth, right? He sacrificed it.
No, he did not. Jesus is also a god and man.
Yeah, but he also became man, right? I mean, do you
Jesus
want me to
is
just
God
pull
man.
up the verse for you? God's sacrificial love. We can just
Well,
go there if you want to.
I understand that Jesus is fully God and fully man, yes.
Okay, great. So God sacrificed by coming down. He sacrificed so much that he died for
Yes.
not just his friends, not just white Americans, but for, I'm assuming, the world, right?
Yes.
Okay, so sacrificial love seems to be a pretty fundamental piece of Christian ethos. Would you not agree?
Yeah, are you going to respond to my claim that ordered love is virtuous? Like, what do you think? Like, if I were to feed my neighbor's kids, but my own kids went hungry, do you think that's virtuous because you're loving your neighbor's kids?
It depends on if you're feeling that you're called to do so, right? I would imagine
So
that
it's
God
a
would
feeling
probably say
thing?
that you would split it, right? Like, I don't know in what world.
There's
I'd be like,
this
I
is-
have one loaf of bread. I can't possibly figure out
But-
fractions and just like give
I mean,
all of it
well,
away.
Split
Poor
it.
people exist, so yeah, that is definitely a
I
scenario
don't know
that
how
could
that's a
happen.
rebuttal. You're right. Poor people do exist. Thank you. Rich people exist. Yes, yes. White
I
people
don't know why you're
exist.
saying that's not a possible. There is quite literally a Bible verse that says.
All right, if I have a
there's wait,
loaf of
wait,
bread-
if you're gonna cite the Bible, there's a Bible verse that quite literally says that if you were to take care of someone else's child before your own, you are worse than an unbeliever.
Cite where that's from.
It's in
Yeah,
First
cite-
Timothy something. I don't remember.
Okay.
Nah, I don't believe that shit either. Hold on. I'm about to fact check her. Wait. First Timothy. I don't think that says that. Hold on, I have to look. Wait. Hold on. Your Hold on, wait. She might be right. Well, it says, okay, First Timothy 5:8 states that failing to provide for one's immediate family is considered worse than being an unbeliever. Okay, but that's not what she said. To be fair, this says uh, failing to provide for your immediate family, not your neighbors over yours, or like what her position was. Eurydice's position was is and let me pull up the verse for you guys just so you guys can see. What Eurydice's position was is if you split it, that's probably what Jesus would do, is split it. Wait, can you guys see this? Yeah. Anyone who doesn't provide for their own family, especially their household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So, like, that's not what she was saying. She was saying you could split it. That's providing for your kids and theirs, and the whoever else you're taking care of, and splitting it is probably the most moral way. Like, that's not hard to explain. So that's not a counter argument there.
Cite where that's from.
It's in First Timothy something, I don't remember.
Okay, I'm sure that's there.
Why is it? Wait, it is. You guys can look it up. That's a verse.
Sure. So here's one of the issues, right? Is you're creating like this world where essentially I have a loaf of bread, and I'm going, actually I'm going to give none of this. But the America First, like, look at America right now, right? America doesn't go, we're actually going to spend zero money on Americans. We're not going to have welfare. We actually do have these things. And then we also do things like U.S. aid, which I imagine you're opposed to. And so the whole issue with being a Christian is there is a fundamental piece, which is caretaking of others, right? If you want to look, for example, I'm sure you know this. Do you know the parable of like the Good Samaritan?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what happens in the Good Samaritan?
There's why are you? Yes, I understand. Like, if someone is
She doesn't know.
suffering, you can help them out. But there is a certain amount of resources that America has. If we were to give away all of our resources to other countries and our own people
That's
starve,
right, because nobody's saying give away all of our resources.
There is a limited amount of resources. Yes.
That is true.
Just like there
Just
is
like
on a
fractions
familial
exist.
level, there also is when it comes to your nation.
Do you think that what I'm advocating for when I'm saying that America First, so when I say America First is unchristian, is because fundamentally what it does is it looks at every resource that America has, the number one economy in the world, right? Trillions. It's worth trillions of dollars a year. And it says, you know what? We can't help others. It has to fundamentally be about us all the time. Not only is this stupid foreign policy, because soft power is incredibly important and it weakens our allyships, but on top of this, it's fundamentally selfish. What you're saying is, I know I have a lot, but nobody else can have any of mine. That's not Christian. I'm not saying America should bankrupt itself and give away all of its money and then like live in the gutter. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that America First supports the banishing of U.S. aid. It supports not helping Ukraine in the war. That to me is both fundamentally selfish and unchristian.
So what I think that America First is about is simply, it doesn't mean we can't help other countries or even other people who live outside
Do you
of America.
support the banning of U.S. aid?
I was just
Can I
about to
finish,
ask
please?
that.
Do you support the
Thank
banning
you.
of U.S.
Please
aid?
answer that.
Can I finish what I was saying?
You can, but I'm just going to ask you the same question.
That we put American interests first. That's what it means. It
Yeah,
means
be
that
selfish.
we are not prioritizing.
I hear you. Be selfish. I hear
right?
you.
So even with Ukraine,
Okay, so this is why I really wanted to answer that USA question, first of all. Because, like, so USAID was helping a lot of people overseas, and if you don't like that, well, in her eyes, what she's saying is you need to help the Americans first. So, okay, I can hear that argument, but ever since they got rid of the USAID, I haven't gotten anything. I don't think anybody else has gotten anything from this. I mean, the only thing we've gotten is a bunch of redacted Epstein files and just lies after that. I mean, Donald Trump is sitting up here saying he's going to give rebate checks that he doesn't even have the power to give out. And he's saying he's going to give the military $1,776 for the 250th birthday or whatever it is. And he's funding that money through their housing something with that the money that they're already getting. So like this USA money is going where exactly? To like more Israel funds? Like what are we doing here? There's no he didn't up the aid or anything like that. He didn't do anything. So what is this America First thing that you're even talking about? Like, is he going to give it out? Is he canceling USA to give us something, or are we just killing people that were relying on the U.S. aid and all the children that were relying on the U.S. aid and other places that we were giving like what $500,000 to the United States is literally nothing. So we're just gonna let the kids die for what? So we can pay for like a fraction of a new jet, a new plane, a warplane that costs like what, like $500 million a pop, $1 billion a pop for each plane. like it just doesn't make any sense, bro. But
I mean, even if I'm not even fully against sending any money or helping out Ukraine at all, because if we were to help Ukraine and that helps America, I'm fine with that. But
So
I
you
don't
will
want,
only
I don't
help
want
Ukraine
America.
if it helps you. Very Christian, by the way. Look,
Well,
I'll be
yes.
generous to you, but only if
On a
fundamentally it's good for me, guys.
on a
You know,
foreign
gotta get that money.
On a foreign policy level, why would I support foreign policy that is bad for America? Like, what are you trying to say?
Why would supporting Ukraine be bad for America?
Foreign policy
What?
that
That's what I was
is
about
good
to
for
say.
America.
What?
I'm fine with
How
supporting
is U.S.
Ukraine.
aid bad for America?
I think it would depend on the specific U.S. aid. Like,
Okay, how is giving malaria injections to the poorest in Africa, which has been banned, by the way?
we have poor
Why is that
people
bad?
here in America. Like, would you rather money go to people in another country or
Do we
money
have
go to people in
welfare?
America?
Do we have welfare?
Yes.
Do you support? Wait, hold on. Do you support welfare?
I support, in certain situations.
Like food stamps?
Sure.
You're for people getting food stamps?
Yeah, sure, in certain situations. I'm not fully
What are the
against it.
situations you would not allow people to get food stamps?
If they're just, if they don't have a disability, if they're not working a significant hours, if they're not trying to find a job, I don't see why we should pay for them. But
So, so a lot of people on food stamps are like war vets and stuff like that. Are you for supporting war vets? Are you for helping them in that way?
this is kind of going, okay, so you support
She's not gonna
foreign
answer the question.
Just to clarify your position, you are okay with us having foreign policy that does not directly benefit America. Is that your position?
So,
Because I was
I don't-
saying I
can
support
you
American foreign policy that
how is-
benefits America. That's my position. What's your position? Do you support
how
American
is
foreign
U.S.
policy?
aid? How is U.S. aid bad for America?
How
is
does
it
it
not
benefit
benefiting
America? How
Well,
does she think when Jesus was like healing people of all their diseases or whatever he did, does she think he was doing that for his own benefit? It just doesn't make it, dude. The only reason I'm even watching this is because the right just claims to be the most God-fearing and God-loving people, and they're just not. Like they won't even think about universal health care for one. That would bring health care to everybody. But they just want these for-profit health insurers to run wild and make a ton of money. You think Jesus would want that? Like, is this really what we're doing here? But I'm also trying not to pause like so much because it's 20 minutes. I don't want to turn this 20-minute video to an hour video. I really don't.
in large part, when you help African countries with like some of the most destitute issues that they have, those countries tend to be warmer towards America. So that, for example, if you need to establish a military outpost, which is very important in wars, by the way, you have these countries good relationships where you might be able to establish an embassy and be able to go there. USAID is not only just good practically, it's also morally good, because guess what? Children in Africa dying because of malaria when we can just help them is bad, actually. And if America, for example,
Okay, that's not
after
saying
USAID,
that.
do you know how many people died after USAID got ended?
No.
600,000, 2/3 of which were children, by the way. Not very
Okay.
Christian of us.
Okay.
But you support that.
I support American policies that benefit America.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I support.
I gotcha.
And I don't know how you're
They
saying
always-
that's incompatible
They
with.
always backtrack to just like a broad answer every time.
Christianity.
Because
That's
Christians
very
shouldn't be
weird.
fundamentally oriented by being selfish. You're saying, well,
No,
I
it's
might
not
help
selfish.
these poor people, but only if I know that it's going to help me first. Very Christian, by the way.
If I'm patriotic and I say, I care about Americans, I support policies that are going to help
Who are you talking
Americans
to?
more than everybody else. The
Are you talking to
audience.
me or are you talking to them?
I'm talking to them, yes.
Why? I'm talking to you. I'm your debate opponent.
If I support policies that
she's
are
gotta
going to
have a
place
fun bit.
American interests first and help Americans, doesn't mean we can't help anyone else, but I care about Americans more
So
than
did
others
Christ
because I'm American.
allow his son to
That's
die because it
not
was good for him?
unchristian.
Did Christ allow his son to die because it was just good for him?
No, he loved others, and I think we should love others too.
Would you say it was actually
I'm not
selfless?
I'm not loving my fellow countryman if I care about someone on the other side of the world
Why
more
can't you
than
just
them.
care about both? I feel like I can both support welfare within
You
my
can.
state. Of course I can. We do it right now.
We
I
have
can
a-
support.
we only have a limited amount of resources, and, when
And
it
yet
comes to-
America was able to both manage a welfare state and U.S.
so,
aid.
So where's your limit? Where's your limit? How about that? Where's your limit for helping others? Do you have one? Like when it comes to America sending our money overseas, like do you have a limit? Like there's a certain point where it's at a detriment to America, right?
Yeah, that's where the line would be. Obviously, you would help out as much as you can. I mean, like, what deadline do you want her to say?
Would you
you
not
would have
agree
to
with that?
establish the detriment. I mean, the amount of money that America would
I
have.
feel like that's just a common sense answer. Help out as much as you can. You like it's whenever you pass somebody asking for money. If she gives out money, I doubt she does. But if you walk past somebody, just give out something that you're comfortable of giving out. You know what I mean?
Have to be sending overseas that would
I
actually
never think of like just being like, oh, nothing, no. You know what I mean?
be detrimental. One of the problems with this is, again, your lack of foreign policy knowledge. For example, why is it good for America to send weaponry to Ukraine? Do you know why?
I think it's good because Ukraine can be an
Why
ally
is
in
that
some
good
ways.
for-
And I see Ukraine as part of sort of an American outpost right now. I support American imperialism, so I would be okay with that.
Right. So when you're asking for like this sliding scale of like how much is too much, it's like you're fundamentally not even understanding the way that foreign policy exchange happens, which is still devoid from the Christian argument, for example, which would say, as a good Samaritan, what did he do? He pulled over, he gave him his wine and oil, and he paid for everything.
Yeah,
and
I
Christ
think,
lauded that
we should
individual.
do that. I think we should do that. If you
Except
come
to poor
across
children
if you
in
come
Africa getting
across
malaria.
Somebody on the street who needs something, help them out. That's good on an individual level, but it doesn't work with politics. Our nation's policies have to prioritize. It's like our nation has to help us out.
So first of all, that's still just bad foreign policy. There's a reason why all Western democracies have created this like
I
exchangement
think
rate.
you're for some reason thinking I don't support backing Ukraine when I have said multiple times that
Do you
I'm
support
fine with
U.S.
that.
aid?
I'm what?
U.S. aid. I've asked you a million times. Do you support U.S. aid?
Probably not. Like I don't know what
Probably
every single
not. Exactly. And why
it
would you?
goes to.
And the
but
only reason you support Ukraine is because it
I would
benefits
support
us.
U.S. aid if it benefits America in some way.
Yeah, this is like the unchristian piece, right? Like if
No,
you're
it's
just
not.
a secularist who's like, honestly,
wait.
I'm selfish. As long as it benefits me,
Wait,
then
sorry.
I'm happy.
Are
that
you
would
even
be
American?
fine.
Wait a second.
That would
Are
be
you even
fine.
American?
That
Are
would
you
be
American?
fine. No, I'm Canadian.
Oh, okay. So that's why I
Oh.
don't care about putting America first. You're Canadian.
You don't even understand your own foreign policy. That's not a dunk like you think it is. I can
Wait,
assure you,
are
my
you
friend,
Canada first?
if a Canadian
Trendy,
understands
I
your politics better than you do, that's a dunk on you.
I support you going back to Canada and being Canada first over there, and I'm going to be America first here.
I'm a legal immigrant of America. Is that a problem for you? Don't clap, please.
Every time they get into a debate, bro, somehow it comes to I want you to go back. Okay, they say this to everybody, just go back. Like how did the conversation go from talking about Jesus to telling somebody to go back to their own country? These people are so far from Christianity. Like it's hilarious.
I don't know. I think it's fine. I support a moratorium right now, so
Well, I'm white, so that's a good one, right?
I'll let you stay. It's okay.
Well, are you happy? Are you okay with me being an immigrant in your country?
I just said I'll let you stay. Sure.
I don't. Okay.
We'll
I
take
don't
a
even know
few
what answer
from
that is.
Canada. That's fine, I guess.
Okay. So if we want to go back, for example, U.S. generosity is the leading form of global health and humanitarian relief. USAID saves lives by preventing HIV, preventing AIDS, disrupting labor issues.
on the other side of the world. We have people with AIDS here.
Why, as a nation who was born on you would probably argue, Christian values, why would a nation develop for centuries to have a policy of understanding and helping others, not just within our borders, but outside of it? And now you, as a great, smart Christian nationalist, comes along and says, actually, it's more Christian to only care about Americans, because I think somewhere in the Bible, God says, God loved everyone, but actually he only liked Americans, right? I think it's probably Galatians 3:28. Let's see. There is both Greek and non-Greek, nor Jew, nor branded or free, whole or female, for one of you, all in one Christ.
Have you heard of the concept of ordered love?
Yeah, of course.
So do you agree with that?
It depends. What does this even mean? In what context?
In the context, like I mentioned before, caring for your family before other people.
So
That's not what
again,
that
it
verse
depends on
said.
what we mean. Like if I say neglect your family, well, why are you laughing? Of course, right? If you say, should you neglect your family? No, obviously not. But the issue is that you're.
But what if you're neglecting your family to help other people? Is that justified in
Of
your?
course not.
Okay, so
I just said neglect is bad. But the issue is you're acting, the America First paradigm acts like this is a zero-sum game, right? The idea that you have to like put America first and foremost, while, as you said, is maybe a good idea if all you care about is being greedy and concerned with your own self. But again, you're a Christian. Christians should not be fundamentally focused on only helping others because it benefits them, which is what you said. You said, I'll help them, but only if it benefits me. There's not a single fucking thing that's Christian about that, right? Christianity is fundamentally about generosity to others. It's about looking at people and seeing them with love. It's about looking past the borders and saying, you are loved because God made you, not because you're American, not because you're white. That's Christian. And what you're doing, you can have these principles, but you don't for a second get to pretend that it's Christian.
I think it's just like odd that you come here from Canada to America
Here
and
we
say,
go.
I
Right
want
back to the immigration bit. You come here from Canada. You come here from here and there. It's just such a boring argument.
your country to
It's
support
boring.
foreign policy that is detrimental, or economic policy or immigration policy
Didn't say
that
it's
hurts
detrimental.
America
That
but
never
helps
happened.
other countries. And I find that very strange.
She's again,
And I think
you're
this
just
is
not
like
talking
why
to me. Why
I
are you
think we need
talking
to like
me
take a
proud?
look at our immigration system and like be like,
Sarah,
what are we doing
Sarah,
here?
if your best dunk is, aren't you Canadian, but I'm still beating you on understanding of American foreign policy, that's not it.
But you quite literally go to another country and tell them you need to support policies.
Can you
that would
imagine that
help
if in
my
Canada
country
I
and hurt
might
your
have the
country?
same predilection? Do you think that I think Canada should be only Canada first?
You should, yeah. I think you should.
Sorry, I'll ask you my question again.
I
Do you
support
think that my
Canadians
predisposition
being
is that if I
Canada
went to
first.
Canada, I'd just be
I
Canada
support
first?
French being French first. I support
Yeah,
Ethiopians being
look,
Ethiopia
you've
first.
made it clear
That's
you're
how-
French isn't a country.
selfish. We get it.
No,
You
that's-
only help others if it benefits you. You've made that very clear from the beginning. USAID, will I stop malaria? Will I stop children in Africa from dying? Well, does it benefit us? I'm a Christian, by the way. God's.
Okay, let me do this. This is, I have to. Should I do 1-5 or 1-2? We'll go. I've never seen this before. We'll go in between.
Love
Do
it.
you think
Awesome.
do you think that people in Japan are like, oh, I want policies that hurt Japan and help like
What's hurting America
Nigeria or
about
something?
USAID? What's hurting America about USAID?
Sending our billions of our tax dollars to people.
How is that
are not
hurting
us,
America?
Because that money could go to our people and
Couldn't you say
strengthen
the
our
same thing about
country.
Ukrainian, all the arms that we're sending them? Why are we sending them arms? Shouldn't we keep it for ourselves?
Well, because
we might need it.
Well, because there's foreign policy, like you mentioned, like how supporting Ukraine could in turn benefit
Yeah.
America because they're an ally.
Yeah, so you're talking one side of your mouth and you're
No, that's
insisting
not
that the
talking-
policy that I'm
no,
suggesting is
supporting American
detrimental, but then you're going
allies
to
can be
outline how all the policies I've listed here
Supporting
are
American
both
allies can
practical.
be
She
beneficial.
should've
And on
did
the
that
other side of your
video.
mouth, you're trying to be like,
That's not-
well, don't you think that it would be bad to neglect your family? Yeah, it's bad to neglect your family. They're like doing like the bottom barrel, like, don't you think rape is bad? Yeah, we've gotten there. The issue is that fractions exist and things like trillions of dollars exist, which is why we had US aid. It's why we had this foreign policy. Not only did we have this foreign policy because it's good for America, but as a Christian, I would like to support it if we can afford it because it's the right thing to do.
Do you want to move to immigration?
No, we're not here to debate immigration. We're here to debate America First as Christian.
That's part of the America First policy, right? So I support an America
She's
First.
got rid of brown people when in trouble. She's like, but brown people are kind of weird, right?
You can calm down.
Well, no. Well, she actually went on to you, Eurydice, and saying, "Oh, you're from Canada." I mean, I called that shit for like 10 minutes ago, but it's hilarious. They always have to go back to some type of immigration. Like, dude, that we're not even close to talking. We're talking about Jesus to now we're talking about immigration. Literally a 180. Literally 180 in the conversation, but Lord have mercy.
It's okay. I support an America First policy that benefits Americans over people from foreign nations. And I think that should be reflected in our immigration policy too. So for instance, with the working class, we've lost so much of our industrial jobs because they've been sent the free trade issue, but we've been sending so much of our jobs overseas. And in the same way, because we've been letting so many people flooding the borders, it's a lot harder for the working class to find jobs.
So in 2017, there was a tariff imposed on the steel manufacturing industry to try to bring steel manufacturing back to America. Do you know what it did for American jobs in steel manufacturing? Didn't think so. What it did is it shrunk jobs. The reason that we export labor is because Americans are paid for their time, not for their labor, whereas overseas it's typically the end product of their labor. Now, you and I could have a long, lengthy conversation about how that's probably bad, but that would be a liberal talking point, not a conservative talking point.
So, it's interesting that they still try to use this talk because this is like a campaign trail 2024 talking point. I mean, has she even just peep at the jobs reports lately? I mean, they're in the gutter. So to think Donald Trump was or that terrorists are going to bring all these jobs back is just absolutely insane. I mean, if it was going to do so, first of all, then they would have all came back by now. But that's just not the case. Even these high tariffs aren't going to incentivize these companies to bring back manufacturing back to America to the United States just because of how expensive the labor is, or how expensive it is to pay Americans, a fair wage for these jobs compared to overseas, wherever they ship these jobs, China, wherever they go, Taiwan, they're a lot cheaper over there to pay the workers, and that's just the benefit of that, and then they sell to Americans because, like Eurydice said, we are a pretty much consumer country, and we most of the times we just for if we're looking at manufacturing, we sell high end things for the most part. If you're talking about manufacturing, so like cheap things, America just doesn't make cheap things anymore. Like maybe like in the 50s or something, you would have caught these big plants making these small things that sell for cheap. I mean, we're way past that. America's 20 times past that. We're good at services for the most part, and high-end products, things like that. Like this manufacturing thing is just simply outdated, if we're being honest. So I don't know what this thing is even talking about. So let's keep watching now.
And while I might have issues with the way that we economically handle other countries, insofar as we often take advantage of their poverty, which I think is not good, the reason that we export labor like this is because it's fundamentally cheaper.
It's cheaper for corporations, yes, but it ends up hurting American workers because their wages have been steadily
And you should
declining.
get on my side and say that we should have actual, effective policy to hold corporations responsible for the way that they decimate American lives.
I agree with that. Why are you assuming
So
what
you're
my
for,
position
taxing
is?
corporations more?
Sure. I'm also for closed borders. I'm also for reshoring our manufacturing. I'm also for policies that support American workers rather than immigrants.
Do you know why H-1Bs are so important to? Let's focus on one industry, cybersecurity. Do you know anything about the cybersecurity industry?
Not that much.
Okay.
Just by the way, if I were to ask Eurydice, I mean, this would be interesting because this is the first time where I guess I would have a question. What manufacturing are you trying to bring back? Like like you're not going to be like in America. You're not going to be making like little fucking toys like that's not even possible here anymore. You're going to get beat out by China, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Like if you're making like a small product, you're going to get badly beat by China, like 100% of the time, unless you ban their product from coming here, like they did with cars, right? To help American electric cars, they literally banned China's cars because if they allowed that to come in, that would completely sink any electric car company American made. So I mean, unless you're going to make things just insanely more pricey by letting by banning Chinese products and making American manufacturers build it, and like the price getting hiked up like what $3-4, I don't know what it'd be. That's what you're calling for because I mean you're just not going to be able to make those a lot of these things that you're saying bring manufacturing back. Like the only thing that when you say bring manufacturing back, the only thing that I'm even thinking of is like maybe cars, but I'm pretty sure like Ford still makes cars here. I'm pretty sure. Maybe some companies have moved to like Mexico, I believe that I've seen before, but for the most part, I believe like Dodge, like really big American companies, Dodge, Ford, what else, and Chevy, they still make here. Pretty sure they're still American made. Like you're not going to be in like Toyota plants here or something like that. That's not going to happen. So like when you say manufacturing, what are you saying? What are you thinking? Because I'm curious. I don't think that that age of America is gone. These 60s, 70s, 80s of these plants and people being able to afford like a family of four off one man going to these working the line, like that's gone. That's just a fact. That's not coming back. So let me finish this video.
Okay, let's just take this more broadly. Do you know why H-1Bs are so valued in America and why your president doesn't want to get rid of them?
Because Indians do work for cheaper, and they also usually are able to work longer hours because their jobs are tied to their visas, so they're much easier to be abused by their employers, and that's why. Yes.
So that's one reason.
So it's actually good for corporations, but it's not good for all the people we told to get STEM.
Well, the H-1Bs, there is a little loophole. I've written a Substack article on this. It's tricky because they'll get somebody experienced and then they'll put them in the beginner role, right? And that's kind of their loophole out of this. And Trump is trying to combat that by if you do choose a H-1B visa, you have to pay the government like $100,000 or something like that, which isn't attacking the problem in the loophole in the system of they're getting these insanely experienced people from other countries like India and making them or they're paying them the salary of a entry level job. But if you got a H-1B visa person or someone from another country and then they got on H-1B visas, the price is around the same for the worker if they're both entry level and they would both get paid kind of the same, or like they wouldn't be working for cheaper. That's not a thing. Her claim that they work longer hours, I don't know where she's getting this from. I haven't seen evidence of that, so I'm skeptical of that claim. I don't see how they would work more hours. Like, are you saying that these companies are forcing them to work more hours? Like, again, I just have to see evidence for that. First of all, well, there's a problem with that kind of, because I would think that they would report that they're forcing them to work more hours and they're not getting paid for it, or whatever the case is. But I also would think that maybe they wouldn't do that because they would lose their job. And they wouldn't want that to happen. Then they'd get stripped of their visa. Maybe. It's tough, but Let's see if we can finish.
Who now went to Silicon Valley and can't get a job because they're too expensive.
That's not what's happening in Silicon Valley.
Yes,
and why that's not why the
100% what's
unemployment issue. The reason that there's an unemployment issue is because there's a massive staffing bubble that happened during COVID in particularly soft industries like cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, one of the reasons why H1Ps are so essential for that industry is because the level of training, you basically need to have like your last certification needs to be updated within like the last year or two. So a lot of American trained people, they just don't have it. We actually cannot fill jobs at high levels. So the reason we have H1Bs is we pull the people over so that they can fill these jobs. And now I agree with some of the abuses that happen to these individuals. Again, this is a liberal talking point. I don't like that. I would like to see things like better hours managed and better equal pay, which actually Biden suggested doing a lot of these things. But you guys shut down the immigration bill because you wanted to win an election. You don't actually want to solve your problems.
All right, and that wraps up this debate. Holy hell, that was spicy. That was really good. That was one of our best yet. Wow.
Okay, yeah, I don't know where that event took place. Maybe it has it in the description, but that's interesting for sure. Interested in wearing recycled Russian tank. What? Okay. Okay, it doesn't say. Comments? Yes, this is Eurydice 8 Mile. Post public executions. Okay, that's funny. Lord. I mean, I think, hold on. I think that took a while to do, and I had like a 30-minute video, but I don't think it might take me an hour to get through that. And it was like 30 minutes, so it might take like an hour. I don't really want to do that. We've been on here for how long? Like an hour? Hour 10 minutes. I think I'm gonna cut it there. We got through two interesting videos. That last one, I guess we can kind of fact check her real quick on that Indian H-1B visa claim that they work longer hours and there's like some abuses. Oh wait, are you? Oh no, okay. Like I just would need to see evidence of it. Let's see. Looking it up. Shit. So, let me see. Let me see. I'll read this website really quickly. Let me show this because I was reading it and I wasn't saying anything. H-1B fraud and abuse indicators. The H-1B worker is not or will not be paid the wage certified on the LCA, the labor condition application. Okay. There is a wage disparity between H-1B workers and other workers performing the same or similar duties, particularly to the detriment of U.S. workers. The H-1B worker is not performing the duties specified in the H-1B petition including when the duties are at a higher level than the position description. Uh, I think that kind of hits on what I was saying earlier. But the H-1B worker has less experience than the U.S. workers in similar positions in the same company. The H-1B worker is not working in the intended location as certified on the LCA. Uh, applies to extend their H-1B status in the case that they face retaliatory action from their employer because they reported. And yeah, that is what that's what I was thinking. Like, if they did force them to work more hours, like, this would happen maybe. In the case that they have faced retaliatory action from their employer because they reported an LCA violation and lost or failed to maintain their H-1B status. So if they were to report that they're being wrong, then they would cut them, or they would do something to them to deter that from happening. I mean, that's just I saw that from a mile away. Something like that would happen. I don't see the claim that they're working more hours or being forced to, but if they were, I could see that at least. I just don't see where it says that. I could see that happening though, because like these companies kind of have free will when it comes to H-1B visas. Now the one thing I did like after doing my article on the H-1B visas, I think one thing that is wrong is like if you can get the help in America, if you can get the American worker, you should have to hire the American worker. I don't see, like, I see the H-1B visa as, oh, we can't get that done here and we don't have the help here in America, so let's go get it somewhere else. And then they can come on H-1B visa, whatever. But that's not the current policy. The current policy is you can get however you can hire them if you want to. You can hire the H-1B visa and not even look for an American citizen to the job. That's a problem. But because of things like that, if something were to happen to them, you can threaten them and say, "Oh, we're going to fire you." Like that. That's a pretty large burden on top of your head if you're on the visa. So, and then they would obviously know that. And like this is why I was saying that there needs to be some type of deterrent for that. Trump tried to do the $100,000, like you have to pay the government if you hire a visa holder, but is that really going to deter them from getting a H-1B visa worker? $100,000, really? I mean, it's like hiring two people, I guess, depending on how long they work there. If they work there for a year, then if you have them on for a year, it's like paying two people. But if they work there for like 5 years, then it was pretty worth it probably, especially if they're like if they use the loophole of, oh, they hired somebody with experience and then they assign them to a lower role, and so they have this experienced worker that's being paid a entry level wage, then that's obviously worth it. And that right there is saving them the $100,000. So they need to close that loophole, one. Then they really need to put in a policy of they have to hire a American citizen if they're available, and not just, oh, you can hire H-1B visa at any time. I think that's insane. But that's my current position. I don't. Right now, I'm trying to think of the counter position to that. I don't see how there's a counter position to that. To be honest, I think that's a really sane take, to be honest. So, yeah. So I still don't see where it says that they often do that, where they have to work more than anybody else, just by the way. But I could see it happening. Again, I'm not looking hard enough. I'm probably about to get off and go to bed in like 20 minutes. So Yeah, I'm gonna end it there, guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you guys watch this. I appreciate all of you. I will probably be uploading these clips. I'm gonna have to edit and update or upload the Eurodite video and then the Dean video. So yeah, I appreciate all you guys. I'm signing off. See ya.